Not a bad place, this, you know. This is where I like to come most mornings and sit and relax and have a coffee and answer messages and all those kind of things, because I've got a fabulous view, as you can see, if you squeeze between the bush and the bus. And this is the area up on the mountainside known as Tala, and it's the Tala Amphitheatre area. Well, hello and welcome back, and thanks for coming back, by the way. But fabulous day. It really is a fabulous, fabulous day on the island of love. And the sun is shining and the temperature is around about 18 degrees, and it is only 10 past 10 in the morning. Well, I tell a lie, actually, it's only 7.5 minutes past 10. So there you go, pretty warm. Forecasting a fabulous, fabulous day. Clear skies, it's all blue. I'm blue, as you know. The sea is blue, the sky is blue, everything's blue. Because everything's perfect on the island of love. Well, it's not perfect, is it? Of course, there's always stories in the press about little bits and bobs that are going on, the cost of living crisis, a little bit of crime here, tourism up or tourism down, whatever it might be. But tourism is up in Cyprus because the Cypriot authorities are not quite as stupid as many of the other authorities where you might be going to book your holiday. So the Cypriot authorities welcome tourism. They want tourists to come to Cyprus because they understand that you guys want to come and have a great holiday, a great experience, and you will also bring your money with you and spend it in the economy, and that filters down and filters up. But anyway, people make money because you come on your holiday, whereas many other countries around Europe are deciding to, well, hate what they call third country nationals. In other words, UK nationals, Russian nationals and so forth. They don't want us to go there. They don't want our money. Crazy. And the irony is that, you know, the people, and I'm not making fun of the people, we understand there is a crisis in the world with property prices and salaries, wages not being very high. So we understand that bit. But a lot of these people who are complaining and saying that, you know, these foreigners, these tourists are coming in and they're pushing up the prices in restaurants, they're pushing up the prices of rents, they're pushing up the prices of properties. They seem to have forgot something that perhaps their parents or their grandparents or maybe even their great-great-grandparents, when the tourism boom started, benefited hugely. I mean, I'm Welsh, so I remember this situation in and around Wales in the, shall we say, 80s, shall we say. Lots of British people, English people in particular, obviously, were moving from London. Perhaps factories were relocating, and they either worked in the factory or they were the manager of a factory, and they relocated. So they sold up in, for example, London and moved to outside Chester, got an awful lot more money for their house in London and bought a much bigger house in and around Chester and put a small fortune into a bank. And of course, this is what a lot of people like to do when they retire to another country. That's what they do, isn't it? In general, sell a big house, perhaps they bought 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, liquefy that cash and buy perhaps a similar house, perhaps a bigger house, perhaps a smaller house. But the idea is to put some of that money into a bank, or somewhere anyway, to give them an income. So I think this little bit has been lost, and it's starting off with Spain, isn't it? You know, the great man in charge of Spain. Maybe he is a great man, and apparently he's in touch with the working class people and wants to try and help them out. His intentions are good, aren't they? But of course his intentions are not really good at all. His intentions are to try and get the masses to vote for him to keep him in power. And then of course he will say, it wasn't that easy. But politicians all over the world, not insulting them, but they're very good at telling us what they're going to do for us, and then very good at telling us after the fact of getting into power that they can't do it, and that we all have to tighten our belts, we all have to suffer a bit of austerity, don't we? While they vote to increase their own pay, while they get all the perks that go with it. So anyway, politics, isn't it? I don't talk about politics, I find it a complete and utter joke. And why anybody goes to vote, I don't know. And I know what you're going to say, but if you understand what I said, if nobody voted and we just said to them, bugger off, and put a dictator in power, put me in power, I'll sort it all out, I promise you. We'll just do it. That's it. Crazy, crazy world that we live in. I was reading the other day, and I don't just state this fact willy-nilly, I didn't read it in the Daily Mail or anything like that, but many European countries are still importing via this or that loophole lots and lots of oil and gas from Russia. But on the other hand, they're saying, yeah, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. And, and the irony is that Russian gas was being pumped through Ukraine while Russia was at war with the Ukraine. I'm sure the first thing you'd have done was switch the gas off. But no, of course they won't, because the Ukrainian government was getting $2 or $3 billion every year for allowing the Russian gas to flow through the Ukraine to Europe, to allow Russia to make some money, to then build some bombs, to then bomb the Ukraine. It is a crazy, crazy world that we live in. But of course, if you're the powers that be at the top of the tree in those countries, you understand that you're not going to die, and neither are any of your sons, your daughters, or any of your family. No, they're going to be shopping in London or shopping in Paris. But anyway, like I say, I don't talk about politics, I talk about the joke of politics. And a lot of people believe these people. Yeah. Anyway, right, what were we actually talking about? We were talking about the specialty of Cyprus, weren't we? That's what we're actually talking about. And obviously the Cypriot government might go down the same route as the Spanish government. I mean, the Portuguese are on about it, the Greece government is on about it, but I don't think that Cyprus is that stupid. They want you to come here on holiday, to spend your money and put that money into the economy. And most people that come to Cyprus know that 99.9% of the people that they come into contact, whether it be in a kiosk, a restaurant, a bar, a hotel, that you are treated with a huge respect. And that's something that's very important, because you've got to respect what you've got. And the majority of people who work in hotels and restaurants, particularly in the promenade and the harbour area, Coral Bay for example, truly, truly appreciate when someone comes and stays or eats at their establishment, and they make sure they do the very, very best that they can do. Sometimes things can go wrong, we understand that. Your chips can come out a bit cold or whatever. But I'm pretty sure if you mention it, they'll go warm them up for you without biting your head off. Whereas, the press all last year in Spain and Mallorca, wasn't it? And I think it started off in Portugal as well and various other places. Innocent people who've worked hard all year, who then booked a holiday and went and sat on a beach to get some sun, and then a bunch of protesters come round them and tell them to go home. I mean, it's not the bit to tell you to go home, but you feel intimidated and threatened. We are living in some very, very strange times. Like I said, if I was in that situation and I was that tourist, I would have sat one of them down and said, listen to me. Your mother and father benefited. Your grandparents benefited. Your great-great-grandfather and mother benefited. It is you who is seeing the world through some confused eyes. Change what you do and stop complaining. This is the problem with a lot of people. And I'm not trying to insult these younger generations. I mean, it's not the young generation, it's not the 15, 16-year-olds, is it? It's these 20-somethings to these 30-somethings that something's gone wrong in their life and they've not been able to get up the career ladder, or, mummy and daddy didn't die and leave them a small fortune that they thought they were going to get. And I'm not trying to insult them. What I'm trying to say to them is, stop looking at the world with blinkers on. Stop expecting the world to help you. Stop expecting the politicians to help you, because they're not going to. I can promise you that. The first thing they want to do is tell you they're going to help you and then help me, and me, and then their term will be over. But don't worry, they'll still keep helping themselves, and their friends who get back in will keep helping themselves. But these people are very clever people, and that, I think, is the most frustrating part for them and for someone like me who's commenting on them, because I understand that they are very, very clever people. I understand that many of them are very, very tech savvy, but unfortunately they don't open their eyes, don't take their blinkers off, and they don't focus on what they should be doing. They focus on what they think the world should give them, and the world will give you nothing. Well, unless you come to Cyprus, you get sunshine, obviously. That's free. Well, at the moment, shall we say. Anyway, I've ranted on enough. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you've got some points, drop them in the comments. If you want me to talk about something, you want Paul's views, isn't it? I don't have extreme views. I have, as I say, I have these, we all have political views and these kind of views, and I wrap them up in what I call comedy, humour, because life is a joke. It is a joke, and you can't take it too seriously. You can't, because one day it's going to end, doesn't it? And when it does, there you go, it's done. You know, people say to me, oh, do you ever think about dying? Not really, because when you die, you're done. On that note, thanks for watching. If you like what you see, hit the like, smash that subscribe. Please don't forget to go and hunt us down on the Buy Me a Coffee platform. That's how you could gift us a nice hot latte or a chilled frappe from Marika, for example, as a big thank you. You can also join us as a Superstar member, starting off at only €10 a month. Thank you very, very much indeed. I'm going to leave you with a little view, and hopefully you'll come back and join me again very, very soon indeed. Look at that, everything's blue. All that's missing is you. So come on, get yourself on a big bird or a canoe. Start paddling like crazy. Because Paphos, Cyprus, Marika and me, oh yeah, we're waiting especially for you. Aren't we? Baroness Lillian of the Crackpot, and of course the man of her dreams, Baron Frank. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again very, very soon indeed. That is a fabulous view though.